is the time for buck passing. For those who do not know what that means, time to shift blame. Presidency rejects calls for service chief sacking and blames this on Libya for the crisis. In fact, the buck has been passed to the Europeans now. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, says the military is doing a good job and deserves the support of Nigerians. On calls for the sacking of service chiefs, Shehu said those criticizing the president did not have the kind of information that he had as regards security and thus could not pass informed commentaries. Shehu said the reversals in the successes recorded against Boko Haram were being undermined by the Libyan crisis, which led to the proliferation of small arms. The president's spokesperson said this on NTA Good Morning Nigerian program on Monday while reacting to calls for the removal of the service chiefs. He said, "Our armed forces are doing an enormous good job. They are not sitting on their laurels, but the challenges have mounted because of factors extraneous to the region, and Nigerians should have an appreciation and be sympathetic and see that all of the things about the collapse of Libya is not fairy tale." Europeans, for competing interests in Libya, were dropping weapons into villages in Libya. A lot of these elements have found their way into the ungoverned spaces in the Sahel. Could it be better with the sacking of the service chiefs? My sense is that the president, as the commander-in-chief, is not a novice in the first instance. He was a military commander, a military head of the state, and the latitude of opinions, intellectual, security, military available to him is not available to most of the critics. So it is wrong of them to interlope in a way and begin to speak on matters of which they do not have the competence to pass judgment. I hope I don't seem arrogant, but I am stating the fact as they are. This is exactly what Garba Shehu said on Good Morning Nigeria on NTA. And as regards the issue of Libya and the breakdown of law and the war and everything, yes, we have to take certain things into, we have to accept certain factors. But the question I need to ask, what happened to the borders in the northern part of Nigeria since it is from the Sahel? How is it possible for small arms and the rest of the weapons or whatever it is? How could these things go through the Sahel and into the northern part of Nigeria? That is to tell you that there is no border in the northern part of Nigeria. Now, one would say, based on the geography and how the structure of the northern part of Nigeria is, it might be difficult for the government to be able to protect the borders all over and round. The same answer: break the country apart, so that they can have enough military forces in their own region to take care of their own border. Simple as ABC. It seems the country is too big to be governed with the way the structure is and everything. Everything goes just points fingers to the same thing. They say the flow of guns and other bad elements from the ungoverned areas in the Sahel is the reason why we are having such issues. Now, he who blames others have a long way to go in his journey. He who blames himself is halfway there. Then what is this government doing? If they know that they are incapable, rather than passing the buck, yes, we understand that they are bringing out the reasons why there is insurgency and some stuff like that. They are bringing out a lot of stories out there. What about some arms and ammunition that we oftentimes hear that are imported into the country? Did that come from the Sahel too? These are questions that begs for answer. Now, pointing to the Europeans and their competing interests in Libya and that they dropped weapons, these are talks. These are stories that are put out there. I don't know if these are confirmed, but there is a possibility that Libya was actually destabilized by the Europeans and the Americans. All the same. They're all Europeans. They destabilized Libya so as to get access to certain things and disrupt some other stuff. They claimed that Gaddafi was about to bring about the unified currency and also he wanted them to trade oil in gold and all of that. There are a lot of stories and some internal issues in Libya itself that I'm not going to go into here. But let's say at the end of the day, the country was disrupted. Libya became a place where there is no law and order. Even till date, Libya is still a place where there is no law and order. And finally, from the Sahel, as he claimed, weapons, proliferation of weapons from that region got into the northern part of Nigeria. And these weapons came into the hands of Hausa Fulani bandits, Hausa Fulani cattle rustlers, Hausa Fulani kidnappers, and probably, if it is not gotten from other sources, the weapons also got into the hands of Boko Haram terrorists and ISWAP that we have in Nigeria. And with these weapons, they've been able to create more havoc and do a lot of harms. So if the information is already gotten, and according to Shehu Garba, they have more information than the rest of the critics that do not have first-hand information or have information at all. With all of the information that they have, what are they doing about it? That is what I need to know. It is not enough for you to get an information. It is about acting, acting ahead of the information that you have, acting after the information, and what kind of actions are you taking? These are very, very important. These are very important things that we need to look into. But unfortunately, it seems that it is overwhelming, as they are not proactive. It is so overwhelming, they cannot actually handle this. All they do is come online or come on TV and talk about the 16 years of PDP. They come around to talk about how certain issues of the Sahel, the desertification, how there is no more water on the earth, how this and that is happening. That is why Hausa Fulani bandits and Hausa Fulani cattle herdsmen would have to go to the south and go into other people's farm and eat up their crops. These are the excuses. And now, about the state of insecurity in the country, what they are coming up with is the talk of how the competing interests of the Europeans in Libya and how they drop weapons into villages in Libya. And these weapons came in through the ungoverned Sahel, the Sahara Desert, and came into the northern part of Nigeria, which we know there is a close, border between Chad, Niger, and the rest of those countries. So it got into Nigeria. Why should a country not have its own personal security to make sure that there is no border? I'm telling you, if weapons can come in this way, if there is no border control and there is no border at all, no security to control any of these things, then we are sitting on a time bomb. We are sitting on gunpowder that is about to explode finally. There is no security. Weapons can come in at any time. Anyone can come into your house and shoot you there. Anyone can come in there, and they claim that they all came from the Sahel. This will be the story. This will be all of the talk. The chief in commander of security, or whatever title they are attributing to the president, it seems that he is unable to handle any of this. That is just what it is. He is unable to handle any of the security concerns that we have in Nigeria. So when you look at all of these issues that are on ground, one will wonder what this administration is actually doing. So these are the explanation, and some might want to call this excuses, that Mr. Shehu, spokesperson for this administration, has pointed out that the increase in attacks by the terrorist group is actually as a result of the Libyan crisis and proliferation of arms into the country from the ungoverned region, the Sahel, the desert, and all of that. He stated that the Nigerian military deserves commendation and support from Nigerians. Do you think that they deserve support, the military? There are a lot of people from the south that actually put their lives at risk with weapons that are not even up to standard. Many videos have been done. You've seen a lot of military young men, they've deserted the military, and some have been court-martialed, some are said to be facing death sentence, some have been killed because they do not have enough weapons, because some politicians that also military personnel and politicians, they took the money, they stole the money, and these military personnel, military soldiers, armies, they cannot actually face the kind of force that ISWAP, Boko Haram, and the rest of these terrorist actions and activities that we have out there. So what is your take about the story, the explanation, the excuse or whatever you want to title this, that Garba Shehu has decided to offer to Nigerians. Let us meet at the comment section. If you are not a member of this channel, we can grow it together by you tapping on the subscription button and the rest notification icon bell below. It will alert you whenever videos are uploaded. Thanks for stopping by.